I'm tempted to start this out cynically, but I'll try not to. This is day number 3, I don't know. I just got started, so I shouldn't really have a lot of high expectations for already having videos, or views, I'm sorry, but I have none. I posted 2 videos, and it's been a couple days, and there's no views. But this is pretty much how I thought it would go. I think YouTube is a useful tool and it can be successful, but I think for most it won't be, including myself. And this is the experiment I'm trying because I just don't think everybody is YouTube material. Everyone's not watchable. So I create a little outline because I don't remember everything and I wanted to share these thoughts that I had. And so it's like you get on YouTube and you're thinking, I'm over 50. I want to start a channel. I've got a voice. I want to be heard. I've got things to say. And when you kind of Google those topics, you get out there and, or I'm sorry, not necessarily Google them, but you put those things into YouTube and what do you get back? Exactly what you want to hear. There's a market for what you have to say. You have life experience. You have all these things to share. You can help people. Well, not really. There's already people out there posting it. There's already content out there. So you have to somehow be different. You have to be marketable. You have to be exciting to watch. And I know who I am. I'm not exciting. I'm average. And it's like, unless you're screaming loud and have those shock and awe thumb titles, I don't think anybody's out there gonna start jumping on your channel. So the next thing is, it was like, okay, make videos because you're over 50 and you want to be engaged and you don't want to be left behind. You want to have other people to talk to and your friends are out there. Well, I don't think they are. I mean that's not true. I think they are out there, but I think you have to have the dedication of a hardcore dieter in order to succeed at YouTube. Because every day you'll wake up, you'll try to come up with content, you're going to post videos, and then nobody's going to watch them. And then you wake up and do it the next day. And you were sold this story that once you get videos out there, you're going to find your tribe. You're going to find the people that think like you, and you'll engage with them in your in the comment section, and you'll get to know them, and they'll get to know you. It'll be great. I don't know if I believe that. I think eventually what'll happen is you'll get to hear, you have to have like a some sort of a bias. Like during the pandemic, I would get online and I'd watch videos about a couple of things. Mainly it was, oh, what was that guy's name? Meet Kevin. So he was all about getting, investing and making a lot of money and buying houses. But then he switched over to be political content, so it got to be a little annoying. And so I kind of stopped watching him. But at first, I wanted to find out about houses. So YouTube fed me houses. And then it fed me investment videos. And then after a while, it started getting a little, I started getting cynical about houses because the prices went through the roof. So then I started getting that other guy, whatever his name was, Nick something. And now he's like the one-trick pony that just keeps screaming, the housing market's falling, the housing market's falling. So that's what happens. You, in order to be successful, you've got to get into a niche on YouTube. And whether or not you believe the niche or not, if you want to be successful, you just have to keep feeding the YouTube monster of that particular niche so that you'll get people to keep coming back to your channel over and over again, to keep getting the feedback loop of whatever the thing is that they want to believe or you want to believe. I don't know. Half these YouTube creators, I don't know if they believe what they're selling or they just are out there hawking the lie because it keeps people coming back. I watched that other guy, Michael, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, Bordalondo or Borda something or other. But he was interesting at first, but he's just full of negativity. And these people, they just get out there, they get their negativity going, and I'm sure there's positivity ones too, but I think unfortunately I tend to lean negative, so that's the feedback loop I get. But those guys were interesting, and they have something to offer, I think. You could take some grain of salt with it, but there's something to learn and maybe go on and discover something else. But the problem is, if you just get stuck eating what they're feeding you or buying the narrative, you'll get stuck there. For example, the biggest guy of all that drives me the craziest is Nick. I can't remember his last name, but he's Reventure or something or other. And he just keeps saying the housing market's going to crash, the housing market's going to crash. And everything corrects eventually, but the housing market seldom has crashed. So it's kind of a lie. Actually, it isn't kind of a lie, it is a lie. And so think about all these poor fools that have been believing him since, I don't know, the early part of the pandemic, like 2020 or late, 2019. If you'd bought a house even in 2021, you'd be up. Over the last couple of years, the only part of the whole housing market that was terrible to buy was in, like, I want to say summer to fall of 2022. That was the worst. If you bought then, you're probably going to be stuck upside down for a bit, and that'd be awful. And yeah, so I mean, that would be the only part where he could say I was successful, I gave great advice. I mean, I bought a house after, I think part of his advice kept me from buying for a bit, but I'd already owned houses since I bought houses a long time ago. I want to say the first house I bought was in 94, 94, 95. I can't remember exactly. And I just bought them as they made sense over the years, and I never gave too much thought to it other than, is the house payment cheap enough that if I had to, could I rent it if I got stuck? And so that was kind of always my premise. But if you listen to that guy, you'd never buy a house and you'd still be, stuck in the whole rental thing. And there's nothing wrong with renting if that works out for you and you need to move and keep yourself not tied down. Yeah, be a renter. It's awesome. And then you don't have to fix anything or deal with all those problems and that stress. But no matter where you live, you're always going to have a stress. It's always going to be something. If you're a renter, you're always stressed out because the rent's going to go up next year, or or if you're renting from a corporation, that's what it'll be. Your rent's going up next year. Or if you rent from a private guy like me, is the landlord going to decide to sell one day and want his house back or throw you out, or he'll want to move into it? So you live under that stress. So then you're like, oh, well, I need to buy a house. So then you buy a house, and then your stressor is, my taxes are going up. I need a new roof. My insurance is going up. So it doesn't matter where you live. There's no escaping that constant niggle at insecurity or the frustration of life costing more money. But going back to the whole YouTube feeds me what I want to eat business, that's all it is. So you get on the YouTube channel that tells you renting is the way to go or buying is the way to go. Whatever narrative you want to believe, YouTube's out there to sell it. But the bottom line is, I don't think grinding day after day is going to get you a YouTube audience, which I guess you could say, then why am I making them? Well, I've already said that from the very beginning. My wife kept saying, make videos. People will want to hear what you have to say, because I do talk a lot, and I think sometimes I talk too much and maybe run people off. I don't know. But I guess I can talk here and I won't run them off because there's nobody listening anyway. So I guess it works out great for me. I get to talk to no one, and I could go on YouTube and get a feedback loop that will just encourage me to keep posting, because that's how you be successful. Just keep grinding. So this video might resonate with someone, but the only way I can get someone to listen to it is if I can come up with a catchy enough title. Do I got to be a cynical, jaded title, an upbeat title? I don't know. But I guess for another couple months I'll do this until I can prove my wife wrong, because that's what all husbands live for. All right, that's it for today.